Hello, 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 Leo, and welcome to Aries Moon Arcana. I'm Kaya, and I'm going to be doing a general tarot reading for you guys for the transit of Mercury entering Cancer, which it did today. For me, that's May 28th, 2020. I don't know when you'll be seeing this, but hopefully I'll start getting my videos out a little bit earlier, a couple days ahead of time for you. But anyway, thanks for being here regardless. So Mercury is the planet of our brains, how our brains work. So it's all about how we intake information, process information, and then express information and express our feelings, our thoughts, all of our thought patterns, anything like that is involved with Mercury. That's what he rules over. And then Cancer is the sign of intuition, emotional intelligence, understanding their feelings and having a very understanding and empathetic way of expressing those emotions. So when Mercury enters into Cancer, it's kind of putting us into a position where our intuition starts to become a little bit more important to us and more possible for us. So I pulled an overall message for the reading. I got the 8 of Wands reversed, and so I'm feeling kind of like what this is telling me so far is it's going to be important for you to use your intuition for when to know when it's appropriate to take action on something. I'm not sure exactly what that something is. There's plenty more to this reading, but that's kind of the message that I'm getting, is just using your intuition a little bit more, and instead of maybe some impulses or something, using your intuition to know when it's time to move into action. So that being said, let's take you down to the lovely little space. I want to see the candle a little bit. So let's begin. I'm gonna just take some sage and cleanse the cards because we really want this to be all about Leo, right, Leo? Don't you just love that? So let's cleanse the energy here, make sure it's all about Leo. We want a blank canvas, blank slate. Okay, so let's get into it, Leo. We want to know what sort of messages Leo needs to hear for Mercury entering Cancer on May 28th, 2020. I'm feeling like using your intuition to know when to take action is the overall message. So let's see if that is in fact what we need to hear. Sometimes the cards take a fully different turn. I just go with what they tell me. So let's see what they need to tell you. What messages does Leo need to hear? King of Wands reversed, 4 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups reversed, 2 of Cups reversed, and I'm going to pull one more, and that's the 7 of Cups. So, I think I know why you're not taking any action. I feel like you might have a decent amount of options about something in particular, and you kind of need to sit with yourself for a little bit before deciding which option is the best option for you to take, and so that, you know, that's where our intuition comes into play. So I'm feeling like lately, maybe Leo, you're feeling a little not as powerful as you're used to. I know the last reading I did for Leo had a lot to do with friendships, like not being able to see your friends very often, and that having to do with maybe what's kind of dragging you down a little bit. I know friendships are super important to you guys, and being seen, being out in public, you know, making people laugh, making people smile, just charming the shit out of everybody you meet. I know that's important to you, Leo. So I'm seeing that, you know, you're not really feeling that right now. You're not really feeling like you're out in the world. You're not feeling very powerful at the moment. And you're really like, I think that might be because you're really focusing on maybe saving some money. You know, you don't want to just go spend your money wherever, because maybe you used to go out to eat or something, or go do things with lots of other people around, and it cost you money, not because you wanted to necessarily do the activity, but because you wanted to be seen. You wanted to be out in public. And I'm seeing that you're kind of focusing more on maybe saving some money or just keeping your resources to yourself. This is a much more internal card. You're kind of, you're with your own self here. You're not very expressive. You're not bringing things out into the public eye as much as you are used to. And it's dragging you down a little bit. It's bogging you down. I think this was I think that this was a part of your last reading. Don't get me wrong, don't quote me on that. I don't exactly remember, but the Nine of Cups reversed. You're feeling kind of like, I don't know, empty. You're a little bit bummed out. Sorry, tea time. Just feeling kind of unfulfilled, unsatisfied. You're not really, you're doing all the right things maybe financially, but it's not translating into having a really good time. And you're feeling kind of depleted and low because of it. And it's affecting your ability to kind of like relate to other people. And maybe it's not affecting your ability so much. Maybe this is just the fact that you can't really connect with like individuals. Like I think that you might be, maybe you're the kind of one-on-one sort of Leo that there is out there that loves charming people, but then loves getting, down and dirty with one person, like really likes to get deep with one person at a time and have really, really important conversations or really connect with somebody on a deeper level. And I see that also not really coming to pass these days. You're just feeling disconnected from humans as a whole, possibly, and it's bumming you out. And so I think that maybe, honestly, the pandemic sort of calming down a little bit and things starting to sort of open up the way that they are, you might have a lot of different ideas about how you want to spend your time and your energy once things open up. Because I think you've learned a lot about frugality and saving money and stuff, but you're really missing the emotional component of going out. You're really missing what you used to get out of it, which is socializing. And you may be having to look at some more options that are less money spending social activities and more just social activities that don't necessarily have to involve spending any money, because you miss your public and there's a lot of different ways that you can go about doing this. And some of the options, of course, are also to just keep going the way you're going or not see your friends. And I don't think you like those options, but they are options and you know that, and you're kind of trying to figure it out. And you will, I think that you need to listen to your intuition. So this is a time now where you've been feeling kind of bummed out and depleted. Your extrovert battery is empty. And because of that, you're kind of coming to this point where it's time for you to use your intuition to figure out how to fix that. You have to solve for X here. You have to figure out how to fix this energy, because it's not sustainable for you. It's just not. It sucks. You hate it. It's not good. It's not good for you. You can't pretend to be something you're not, which is like, you can't pretend to be an introvert if you're not an introvert. You can't. You're still gonna have a depleted battery by the end of the day, whether or not you pretend that it's okay with you. You still need social activities. You still need people around you. You still need to impress people or show off for them and be the shiny, charismatic Leo that we all know and love. And you're that part of yourself right now. Maybe you're even questioning, like, did I ever even have it? Like you're just feeling kind of low. And it's because you're not getting any feedback from other outside people. And so you have to figure out, you've got all these options. You've got to figure out how to get that battery filled up while still having to kind of be isolated and saving money. And so what's going to happen is you're going to be able to come to those decisions using your intuition, because your intuition is going to be a lot more astute these days because of the Mercury being in Cancer as a general whole. For everybody's going to have more of an opportunity to kind of feel what they need to do intuitively and then choose correctly based on that. So let's get into some clarifying cards, shall we? Because I think, the more cards I pull here, the more of a story that I end up with, the deeper and heavier it kind of feels to me. So, and I'm not necessarily saying that you're feeling super heavy. I just feel like it's affecting you greatly, is what I'm seeing. Your passions and your power are not at the level that you prefer them to be. So we've got the King of Wands here reversed. So that's that kind of powerlessness, that, feeling kind of empty, energetically speaking, not feeling passionate, not feeling very just energized. You're low energy right now. So let's get some messages for Leo. Poor little Leo, having a hard time with this isolation. Their extrovert battery is low and they're having a tough time. So let's see what we can say for this King of Wands reverse. Ooh, hello. So what do we got for the Leos of the world? Five of Pentacles reversed, Seven of Pentacles reversed, and the Ten of Swords. So, you're in healing mode, aren't you? This financial stuff that you've been working on, it's a long time coming. And it's something that's really needed your attention, and maybe you're grateful that you don't have all the social distractions right now. Or at least the way that it started, the way the pandemic started, maybe you were seeing the silver lining with everything and saying like, you know what? This is a good opportunity for me to save some money, to learn better spending habits. And now that you've got kind of stuck into that habit, now that it's been what, like 3 months or something that we've been in this totally different way of existing, you know, because of that, you've been in healing mode. So the Five of Pentacles reversed is like healing poverty, essentially. So you've been really working on that. You've been really like, you might be getting a little bit impatient now because you've been putting so much patient energy into fixing this and sitting with this Four of Pentacles. And now what's starting to happen is it's starting to detract from you emotionally. And you're feeling really down, like beaten down. This guy is just laid up. You know what I mean? He's exhausted. He's been murdered, however you want to look at it. I don't think you've been murdered, Leo. I'm just saying, you're tired and you can't get up. You feel like you can't get up. You've got these heavy swords in your back. You're like, oh, blah, and there's nothing really reviving you. And so you're feeling really low energy with that King of Wands reversed. Low fucking energy here. So let's get some clarification on the Four of Pentacles next, because this is where this all kind of began, you know, that I think the energy depletion is a result of this like pandemic / wanting to better your finances and focus more on that and not spend lots of money, where you used to spend money, like I was saying, on maybe social activities. You're not really doing that so much anymore. So, hello. So we've got the Four of Pentacles here. You're being good. You're being smart about the money, and I like that. So let's focus on that. I think it's really good to be frugal and to tighten the purse strings. This is a great opportunity for people to really rethink, are they coming on? To really rethink how they spend, what their savings looked like before maybe they lost their job, unfortunately. You know, it's like, it's a really important time to be able to find out where you're going wrong or where you haven't been paying enough attention, and give yourself the opportunity to start that journey. So I think that's a good thing. Death card, it's a good thing, don't worry. Page of Wands and the Justice card. Yeah, so you've kind of killed your poverty mindset almost, maybe. You've really like changed. You've transformed a part of your life that is no more. It's not going to go back to the way that it was. You're really sitting tight on this money now. You're really, really careful and cautious. And you know, it might not even be money. It could just be some resources or something you, excuse me again. You know, whatever you're holding on to is something you maybe used to just give to freely, and people used to take advantage of you in whatever element or context. And you've really changed your ways. You've transformed deeply here. Things have really, really turned around. And so that's probably why you're feeling the impatience, as with this little combo up here, because you've been putting all this work in and you've been transforming so deeply. And now at the end of it, you're just feeling depleted still. And you're like, why? Where's my energy? Why am I feeling so bummed? You know, and it's a really good change, because what's starting to happen is you're at the beginning of a journey, the Page of Wands here. You're at the beginning of a new passionate journey towards your finances, it looks like. And if you haven't made that adjustment, I suggest going through this transformation, because it will only help you in the long run. Because you want to learn what to do right. You want to do things right this time. You want to be above board. You want things to be, you know, balanced. You want your money to be balanced. You don't want to be, you know, you don't want to go out with your friends one night, wake up the next morning, and then have to check the bank balance with like your heart's fucking beating because you're terrified of what it looks like. You want to do right by yourself. You want things to be right. And I think you've been able to make that transition because of the isolation and stuff like that. So you've gotten really deep into this transformation, and you know, maybe you're even worried about how how that's going to translate once things start opening up. Like maybe you're worried. Maybe you're worried that your friends will be like, come out with us. And you're like, I can't this time. Like I'm saving money and I'm trying really hard. And it's, you know, that's going to set me back $200 and I can't go through that. So yeah, this is a deep transformation that you've experienced with this. Or it's coming in the next month or two. So you can look forward to that if that's something you haven't already been working on. I'd suggest looking into it, bettering your financial position, harnessing your resources, not giving out the resources that people are always taking from you and taking advantage of with you. Because what ends up happening is we come to our Nine of Cups reversed. We start to feel empty, depleted in our own right. Doesn't even have anything to do with other people. This is just you feeling unfulfilled and unsatisfied. You've been putting all the work in. You've been doing the money stuff. You've been paying attention to it. You've been doing right by yourself with the Justice card. But there's one thing that's really missing, and it's like the emotional satisfaction that you get from socializing, being with other people, feeling like they're complimenting you or telling you that they, you know, they like your dress or they like your shirt or whatever it is. You know, you really, really thrive off of that. And it makes you happier and it makes you nicer. It really does. I feel like Leos really get a lot out of positive reinforcement and positive human interaction, and you have not been having enough of that in your life, and it's bumming your shit out. Understandably so, you know? So we got the Wheel of Fortune reversed, the Six of Swords, and the Three of Cups reversed. Yeah, you're changing your ways. You're breaking the wheel. You're breaking your wheel here. You're breaking your typical way of doing things. You're moving on from it, and you're moving away from partying so much, possibly, or just spending frivolously, and you're not really seeing your friends as much. I think you feel like in order to be financially successful, you have to cut your friends out for some reason. And I only think that that would be necessarily true in very few cases where your friends like take advantage of you or always push you to spend more money because they don't have any and they want to like have fun with you, or just the people that don't have your best interest at heart. I think those are going to be the problematic friendships here. But I think for the most part, you don't really have to worry so much about it. You're kind of breaking cycles. And if it really makes you this unhappy, to cut people out of your life because you're so afraid of how they're gonna affect your finances, you know, I would say have a talk with them. Explain to them what's going on and this deep change that you're going through and this wheel that you're trying to break. Explain this to them like you're Daenerys Targaryen. You know what I'm saying? Like explain, like, I'm breaking the wheel. This is really important to me. I don't want to feel like I have to lose the friendship or walk away from it. So can we please work this out so that we can still get a friendship out of each other without having to spend money? Like, is there something that we could do that's, you know, that doesn't have to do with that? Because I'm moving away from the party girl or party boy life. You know, it's just not fulfilling anymore. Being in isolation has taught me that I don't need the party life. It was a little bit empty, and I'm just ready for new experiences that reflect how responsible I've become. So I think that that's an easy conversation. And I don't want you to feel like you have to let go of friendships in order to be successful. That's not the case, because it's making you feel Two of Cups reversed. You're really disconnected from people. So it's not, I don't think that's a good thing for you. I don't want you to feel like you can't see people or spend time with them. You just have to tell them the truth and talk with them honestly, and then try to come up with solutions and listen to their solutions. They're like, oh, well, I don't care if we don't go out to eat. I just want to hang out with you. Let's go to the park. And then you're like, oh, relief, because you get to see your friends, even if you're 6 feet away from them. You get to see your friends and you get to not spend money. So you're getting the win-win here. So, you know, don't cut yourself off from people because you are afraid of those relationships kind of forcing you into spending money, because nobody can force you to spend money. Nobody can. You're in charge. Nobody else is in charge but you. You're in charge of that bank account, not the other way around. So let's see here. You're feeling disconnected. You know, you could even you could be living with a significant other through isolation, and just not seeing your friends is making you even feel disconnected from your partner because you're like not yourself, and you don't have really any love to give. You're not feeling very like open and loving because you're exhausted socially and emotionally and mentally, and you need those compliments and you're not getting them, and you're just feeling really disconnected and like yeah, same thing. I don't have to keep repeating it, do I? Ace of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and the King of Cups, Knight of Cups reversed, sorry. I think this is a good thing. So Ace of Swords, I think this is the birth of these ideas that come to you, for where we get the Seven of Cups here as the next card. And you're going to be building up your intuition, I think, around this time, around the time where you've kind of hit your wall. You've hit your wall with things. You're just very like, okay, you know what? I can't live without my friends. I can't live without certain things. I have to find a way to make this a part of my life, or I am going to just become so depressed that I have to go on antidepressants or something. Like, you don't want to have to make any drastic choices. So you realize, you get like the kind of like bursting inspirational idea that it's time to make a change. It's time to shift things around. You've made this really deep internal transformation about your money, and now it's time to integrate your life, the two different lives almost. You have to integrate spending time with your friends and hanging out, and spending time with people in general, and being seen in the world, and saving money. You have to integrate those things, and I think you're going to be inspired to do so, because bada bing, bada boom, you want to be the Queen of Pentacles, and you are on your damn way with this Four of Pentacles here. You're on your way to becoming the Queen of Pentacles. She's all good. She's got everything she needs. She can afford whatever. She's sitting pretty. She's solid. She buys herself the luxurious clothes online that she loves. She's making enough money. She has enough money saved where she can do the things she really enjoys doing. She's the culmination of what you're looking for. So maybe this is the like big inspiration. You see this Queen of Pentacles and you're like, that's how I want to be. That's what I want. I want a life just like she has. So you have kind of this burst of inspiration to become like this. Maybe you see another person, you know, you meet somebody new, or you just see even just like a chick talking on like a video on YouTube. It's not me, but, you know, or Instagram, or you just like see somebody doing their own thing and you're like, oh, I want to go to there, you know, like that's your feeling. So you get super, super inspired. It's pretty new for you. I think it's like a newer, exciting idea. It all kind of happens sort of fast. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a slow journey to kind of emotionally bring yourself to that point. But this is where you start to realize that your intuition is going to lead you to where you need to go. Because this disconnection from this partner, or like you missing one-on-one relationships, or missing one-on-ones in general, is really going to be what sparks you. You're going to see some chick or something. You're going to like you're going to see someone, or hear of something, or imagine it, or even just hearing this reading. It's going to spark your interest in becoming somebody like that. And because of that, you're going to start realizing that intuition is going to get you there. You've got to really listen to your heart right now, and not so much your head. They should be very connected with when Mercury enters Cancer. So really focus on that. Like, try to pay attention to that, because he's reversed, but you can upright him. You know, you can upright this guy, because then he's got the messages. He's great at bringing the emotional intelligence of this new idea over into the next card that we're going to clarify. That's what his job is. So once you can really have that understanding that bringing your intuition into this is very important for you, then you're going to start to be able to move things into the next direction, which is where you have all these options that you get to choose from, which we're going to look at right now. And ultimately, it's all leading you to this, like, you know, internal understanding of where to go, because you're not going to be able to make many decisions until you figure out which decision you want to make. You know, you can't really do it that way. So you're going to have to intuit really what it is that you think you need to do about this this situation that you're in, that makes you kind of almost feel like there is no solution, or it feels sort of impossible sometimes when you're like really low and really depleted in that King of Wands reversed energy. So it's hard to make a decision when you're in that mentality, right? So let's get some clarity on the Seven of Cups. Let's see what Leo needs to hear about this, because I see some opportunities coming through, but I think it's you sparking your own new ideas about how to put your life together into one cohesive life that all makes you happy and all makes you feel good. So you got a lot of options here. I'm going to take it because it flew right out and landed right in a way that tells me that it wanted to be known. So Four of Wands, happy, stable home. What else do we got? Page of Cups reversed. Yeah, you're new to this. And the Hierophant. I think you want to bring them to you. I think you want to have like a really nice structured house where you have the beautiful, lavish place, and you can only get that if you're saving money, that you can invite your friends over to. Maybe it's so beautiful that people can even get married there. You know what I mean? Like, it's this big, beautiful area. You have a nice big field. You have a nice big house that people feel so at home in, and they can party down. And then you're not spending money because you're not going out, because maybe you're the one cooking. People are bringing wine. You don't have to spend any money, but it takes a while to get there. So it's going to take you a little while. You're in the, you know, with this Knight of Cups and this Page of Cups both here being reversed, it's in its infancy. You know, I don't think you're really necessarily closing on a house in these few months. I think this is more the time when you realize that that house is what's really important to you. The structure of having this nice, beautiful home, of having that marriage. You want that connection with somebody so that you can build that marriage, so that you can build the life that you want. You want the house, you want the home, you want the whole thing, because you want to bring your friends to that. You want structure here. And you need to be able to bring your emotional intuition into that and let yourself feel what's right. Sit with yourself and settle down and intuit what it is that you want and what you feel that you really want, because that's really important. You can't just like decide what you want with your mind. It really has to come from this place, because that's where the passions start to get really exciting, you know what I mean? And that's what keeps you going, and then it doesn't let the novelty wear off because it's a real thing. So I think you're on like this new kind of journey, this new path, learning how to use your intuition to bring you kind of ultimately, you know, what you want here is like, I think you want that stability, that big, beautiful home where you're like, oh, I know what to do. I know how to not spend a bunch of money but still have all my friends. Have a fucking party house. Or even you maybe have the house already, and you're married and you're all good and your friends all love your partner, and it's like, bring them over. Bring your friends over as soon as everything opens up, or do it when everybody, you know, everybody can just stay outside, have like a quarantine party. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's time to listen to your intuition instead of your head so much. You've been really focused on listening to your head and doing the right things practically, which is a good thing too, but it's time to balance out and start listening to your wants and needs. That's important for you. And that's what's going to help you understand what steps you need to take to bring those things together, is really, really hearing yourself. When you fall asleep at night, what do you envision for yourself? What wonderful things do you imagine yourself in? What sort of positions do you imagine yourself in? And then, you know, realize that that's something you can go towards. That's not something that is just a fantasy. You can turn this, you know, sometimes the Seven of Cups is like the fantasy card, but you can turn that into a reality. You certainly can. And I think especially with the Hierophant and the Four of Wands here, I think you can certainly turn your fantasies into realities. It's just that it's in its infancy. You have to really get reconnected with your intuition and your emotions here. I think it's going to be a lot easier because of Mercury and Cancer. So that's a good thing. You got some energies working for you in that way. So let's get some outcome energy, or just some messages maybe that we missed for Leo. Is there something else we need to know? Anything else we need to know for Leo for this Mercury entering Cancer time? Eight of Swords reversed. Justice reversed, and the Ace of Pentacles. So yeah, I think that's kind of the story. So this is more of a summation with a little bit of a positive outcome. Not a little bit of it is a positive outcome. It's a great card to land on. You're done like ignoring the issues that you were having financially. You're done you're done ignoring that while you were working on your finances, you were ignoring your feelings and your happiness. You're done ignoring, you're also done ignoring your finances while you're just only indulging in happiness. So you're done kind of ignoring the things that you aren't working for within yourself. You're kind of done ignoring that, and you're done doing the wrong things for yourself, because we got the Justice card earlier with you trying to really work on your finances here and your resources. And before that, it was kind of a mess, and you weren't doing all the right things. You knew that they weren't the right things to do, and yet here we are. So Then we come into the Ace of Pentacles. I mean, that's the new beautiful, like there are new financial opportunities with this card. It's new ideas about how to make money with this card, new job opportunities. I do think it's tied into wanting this home, this like really lavish, beautiful lifestyle home where you can bring your friends over. I think you're having this like new kind of like overwhelming urge to make things better and more, maybe a little more fancy for yourself, and then have your friends come over, have everything you want. You have everything you want because you've been working on your finances so much that everything else will start to flow in because you're using your intuition. You're no longer ignoring the things that you should have been paying attention to. You're not doing the wrong things for yourself anymore. You are here balling out and making it right, making your finances right and making them work for you so that you can bring together all the parts of your life that were feeling kind of like disengaged and imbalanced. So I think that's awesome. You just have to listen to your intuition. That's kind of the ultimate like end to this. Listening to your intuition. Don't take any actions towards anything yet. Just sit with yourself and kind of listen and hear what you really have to say. And I would suggest doing a little research, maybe on this combination, your Ace of Swords and then the Queen of Pentacles. Really focus on the Queen of Pentacles energy. I think that's what I think that would be helpful for you, because I think that's ultimately the energy that you want to be living in. And you're getting there with that Ace of Pentacles showing up as the last card. So it's all good stuff. Just work on it, listen to your intuition, work on it a little bit, you know what I mean? There's always work to be done, isn't there, Leo? So anyway, if you've watched all the way through, I really appreciate it, and that means that it resonated with you. Fabulous! Or if you know a Leo that you think this message could resonate with, please send them my way. I have a schedule of my upcoming videos in the description box below, as do I have, what a stupid sentence, I also have my link to my Etsy page where I do personal readings as well, if you're interested in that, also in the description box. And yeah, I think that about does it. That wraps it up. So thank you so much for being here. Like, subscribe, comment, share if you were into it. That really, gives me the warm and fuzzies and tells me that I'm doing the right things. So I want to stay on top of that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you at the next one, Leo. Bye.